And we are live. It is your friendly neighborhood film watchers. It is Frankly Football. We do have a multitude of humble and esteemed guests with us. We do have the much well deserved and friend of the show, DMV Fanatic, with us. How are you doing, sir? Oh, I think DMV might be joining on his separate device, but we also have, the wonderful friend of the show and ally as well, Space Cowboy. How are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Doing wonderful. Thank you for joining us this afternoon, Space.
Mhm.
DMV, can you hear us yet on your computer now that you done switched back? Maybe he can, maybe he can't,
He
but we'll
working
address
through
that
it.
in a moment. Yeah,
Yeah, he working through it.
he's working through some technical difficulties. But
That's what's up.
fellas, fellas, it's so hard. It's so hard. You know, so when you hear the things, when you hear the phrase "trap game," you think that it can never happen to you. You know, you think that we have gotten over that hump. And DMV will be back in a moment, folks. We wouldn't have thought that it wouldn't have happened to us against the Jacksonville Jaguars. That Florida man would not have come to us and gotten us,
Okay. Okay.
But I could tell you who did get to us. Kellen. Kellen did. The Dallas Cowboys.
Kellen did.
Exactly. The Dallas Cowboys, in typical Dallas Cowboy fashion, did lose in a trap game to the Jacksonville Jaguars in overtime. In what could be defined as Space Cowboy has dropped off, but he'll be back in just a moment. In overtime, 34-40. What do you think about that loss, Chris?
Yep. Heartbreaking, disconcerting,
Mm-hmm.
something you didn't expect to happen. It was it was typical not finishing what you started fashion, but it was to me more than anything, um watching a team do something great and just gave us a lot of questions about what happened. Um, usually in times past, I would probably just storm out the house, but then I was like, this second time they've given up double
Mm-hmm.
digit leads this season in games where they had people beat in a playoff atmosphere type game. I thought Jacksonville was going to be a formidable foe. I saw the talent, and I had a lot of respect for Doug Peterson. I just did. But in classical Kellen Moore fashion, and I kept myself from tweeting at the end of the first half that Kellen was in his bag.
Of
Last
course.
time I did that, he did something, so I said I ain't gonna do it no more. But man, I just want to hear. I've heard what DMV had to say. He's been very outspoken on Twitter, but I want to know what Space thinks, man. I really want to know how Space feels about this.
Well, I'm not happy that we lost, but I'm not shocked, and I'm not trying to downplay what happened because at the end of the day, I said on my video, the thing that Jacksonville does well is strike quickly and fast enough to keep them in games. And that's
Mm-hmm.
exactly what happened. Dallas
Absolutely.
was controlling that game through all the way through about 3/4 through the third quarter. And the thing that killed all that momentum was the large touchdown pass that Kelvin gave up. Now, I'm not trying to excuse the other stuff that happened because that also played a factor. Your offense stalled at the wrong time and allowed Jacksonville to literally erase a 17-point deficit within a matter of 3 minutes. That is something that is disgusting and should never happen. With the Green Bay game, at least you you made them drive methodically to still have a chance. But there's a couple things that kind of also I think also need to be highlighted is that defensively speaking, right? You gave up 501 yards. Yes, I understand the game went into overtime, but I don't really want to hear about I understand offensively we have issues, but I don't hear a lot about the defense, and that's what's kind of starting to irk me because yes, we are injured defensively. I get that, and LVE being hurt really, really didn't do the Cowboys any favors. But I think that the big thing that scares me about this team moving forward is that we can't get a stop to save our lives. Now, you can argue, and I've seen, and I was upset about it with how Jacksonville was given basically 2 free timeouts to end the half, but, I don't want to go too far into it, but there were some things that, I like the aggression. I'm okay with it. But then there are the same individuals that are well, you shouldn't have done this, that, and a third. I just am kind of listen, you have to go one way or the other, but this is a game you should have won. I'm not shocked they lost it, but I'm more pissed off that they lost it the way they did. 110%.
Finish us off, DMV.
What you thinking, John?
Well, I agree with what most of what Space said. The only thing I disagree with is the fact that you said we couldn't get a stop to save our lives. We got 2 of them. Romo would have killed for those stops in his career. Where we got the fumble.
God. Did you bring Tony up? Oh my God!
I did because Tony couldn't get those stops, right? And I'm not blaming Dak at all. So we got the fumble.
Okay.
That should have been it. That should have been nipped in the bud. You know what I mean? We got to be able to get 10 yards here. And then in overtime, they won the toss. We got the stop. We got the stops to win this game. Now, that last one when they got the ball back in regulation, that's a little bit different. But for me, I do blame the defense. Don't get me wrong. I blame the defense and I blame a little bit of the offense. But I really blame the coaches. I blame game management. You know what I'm saying? Game management was the biggest reason we lost this game. You know what I'm saying? Even with Kelvin Joseph giving up that big play, I feel like on offense, the way that the plays were called, it was let's get that get back. Let's get it back. And it's bro, chill out. We on the road. You know what I'm saying? Chill out. Chill out. We throw it right back to him. If you look at a lot of the, I hate it makes it seem like I'm thinking more offense in this one. If you look at a lot of what Kellen's route concepts were, when you go back and watch, a lot of it was a lot of vertical stuff, no layups for your quarterback. When you're in games like that where there's mood swings, your quarterback got to have some layups in order to slow that crowd down. Because we were giving them the ball back. Our defense was already weak. They were tired. We have a makeshift defense, right? But to that point, though, the defense, I feel like where they let us down was they couldn't tackle for shit. Excuse my French. They couldn't tackle for shit. A lot of the time they were there and they just broke tackles. Weak ass tackles, though. It wasn't like we're there and you just run it. No, it's arm tackles. You guys are grown men. But I think that in my opinion, I think it goes to your offensive coordinator and your defensive coordinator and your head coach for allowing that shit to happen on his watch. Usa.
Now, see, I'm glad that you brought up my nemesis, my enemy, public enemy number 1 here on this channel, Kellen Moore. If y'all, not only you two, because y'all are friends, y'all are allies, and to those that watch our channel, not only those that are watching us live right now, but anyone that has watched any of our previous content, I hold grudges. I do not forgive easy. I have to ask this question.
You don't forgive at all. But okay.
I do forgive. I do forgive. And in fact, I have come to like Terrence Steele. I think that Terrence
Okay,
Steele,
I'll give you that one.
yes, among many people, Terrence Steele is a shining example. Now, on to
Okay.
that man, enemy of the state. Has the Dallas media yet to place any direct blame on Kellen Moore, since it is known
No.
that since he is using his playbook, Kellen Moore uses an Air Coryell based offense, and he is the one who has designed all of the offensive lingo, and is also the one calling all of the offensive plays, has all of the route concepts and everything, so on and so forth down the line. Has the Dallas media placed any direct blame on him?
Hell no, it's been Dak and Noah Brown. It's been Dak and Noah Brown.
And this isn't
But
just
it's hard.
this,
It's hard.
this is for all of the season.
It's been Dak. Dak been taking the heat, bro.
Yeah.
For them interceptions.
But it's hard. It's hard to put a lot. But it's hard to put a lot of blame on a guy with the number one offense. Your third down efficiency goes through the roof once you get your starter back. Most in points, 28, 29 points a game. So it's hard to say he's the problem, because if you scored enough points, because 34 points is really enough to win a football game. But you have to look at some. I look at about 3 or 4 different plays in this game outside of the third down play and outside of a pick six. My question to the panel is this, and I love Rain Dakota Prescott, but my question is this: is Rain making business decisions and not running anymore? I just want y'all to go back. Third quarter, it was like a third down play. They were going to run the read option. They run the read option, and Rain moves towards the offensive line. The linebacker with the funny Uluwafe or some kind of name fakes, and he never looks at Rain. If he just fakes it and runs, it's like a 4-yard gain, and it's like second down, or it's second down and 4, second down and 5. He doesn't run there. On the play in overtime, second and 13. They do the orbit motion, and Pollard's coming back. But if Rain just fakes the pitch, it's Noah Brown, who's a blocking wide receiver, and the DB is there, and he's out the back door for the first down. So my question is, we have been wanting to see, and I declared last year that after coming off the calf strain, off the broken leg and everything, that rumbling Dak would be back. And I don't think he's ever coming back. I don't think he's going to be that, that fearless runner, that stiff arm Josh Norman in the face in FedEx when I came to see him. And I definitely don't think he's going to be the guy who tumbles over the Seattle defender to get it out to the 1-yard line in his one playoff win. I'm looking at, is Rain not saying, I'm going to be just reckless with my body to help us win? And that's my question to the panel.
I think he will at the right time.
Didn't he do it in the Jacksonville game? Didn't he do it? Yeah.
He knocked somebody's mouthpiece out, but I think he also took a lick on that one too. So maybe he did make a business decision after that I can't get. So
right.
I think that he will do it when it comes playoff time, because he's pulled it quite a few times. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think he wants to make a living of it. So I agree that he is making business decisions.
Yeah. And I think a big thing, a big thing too that I think is a main issue is that this is why Kellen's pissing me off. The option routes, dude. I did a film study today about all of Dak's interceptions. I'm not the greatest with film, but when I was looking at them, I want to say
I've broken down all of them.
I want to say I think 4 or 5 were on option routes, and it's because the problem was it 3? Okay, I counted 4 or 5, but then again, I had to go back and take a look. But the reason why that's a problem is that you are making this offense way more complex than it needs to be. And and you are making problems happen because you are putting these guys in these situations. Now, I'm not trying to downplay, because sometimes you should know better, but that's on Kellen, dude. This is the offense that you're putting together, and you are putting those in. Like, it's just so frustrating to me, because we have your head coach, and this kind of falls on the head coach too, but I understand how the politics of the room are in Dallas.
Mm-hmm.
Your head coach said, I hate option routes. Why are we doing option routes? And you still have him doing that. I don't have a problem if, like, okay, if it's a little bit, okay, fine. But it's every freaking time. Like, every game, it doesn't look like there's been an adjustment. Every time we think, okay, maybe he's turned a corner. Nope. Just goes back to the same stuff. That's what worries me. So I think with this, and kind of going to the business decision stuff, I do think Dak will do it when the time comes. But we almost had a scare on the interception when he was coming down.
Yes. His leg got pulled down by under.
I was like, thank God. And maybe that made him think twice too. Who knows? I don't know what's going on in the mind of Dak Prescott. But
yeah, because I do think he was going to run that at first. I do think that. I think he was going to take off.
And he was just like, oh, I don't know. But so I personally believe that, given the news of how injury time's coming out, because we just heard what's going on in Philadelphia with Jalen taking those hits with running the ball, I think that he's like, I don't want to. I want to be here for the team. I've already been out. I don't want to be out again. I can't afford to be out. So I think that's kind of where we're at.
Okay.
Now, one more thing that I would like to add about the Kellen Moore point in relation to the option routes. It's okay that they're there, but if you want to make the offense more complex, you have to do it completely. When we see the routes, he's doing it in an incomplete fashion. When you look at the Houston game, for example, you see the route concepts. And one thing that we see with Kellen Moore and his route concepts is, what's the proper word? A lack of influence on part of those secondary and tertiary routes when it comes to the DBs, linebackers, etc. The guys who aren't truly intended to be the target, if they're going to run what's, for lack of a better word, unnecessary routes, they're going to have to influence guys out of their zones, away from the intended primary receiver. That's something that Kellen Moore does not do well when he's drawing up plays.
Spacing.
Yes, absolutely. And
he doesn't cause conflict. Yes. Skywalker still says it all the time. His route concepts do not cause conflict. As you saw Jacksonville running slight, intermediate, quote unquote pick plays, making the DBs having to make decisions and having them to just say, okay, I'm thinking here. That's never the issue with Kellen. He ain't gonna never make you do that. But that comes from the tree. He comes from the Jason Garrett, Scott Linehan. We'll play you in the backyard. We'll play you on the moon. We'll play you here, there, and the other. And our guys are better than your guys. You can't live in a world like that when you're dealing with ones of ones. DMV, you understand what I'm saying? If I'm just as good as you, then I'm going to stand all these different things. So now make me have to do something out of the ordinary. And Kellen's concepts aren't there. So I give you that. The other part, and I know when y'all watch the film over and over, he does not affect the middle of the field at all. It's like he wants to work from the boundaries out and up the rail. He does not want to deal with the middle of the field. And I can't understand that even on the one play that we lost this game on, he dealt in the middle of the field, but he dealt in the middle of the field with an inferior player. So I was talking to one of my other buddies, and we were talking about, in these games that are tight games like this, he's always going. Kellen wants to go to a guy who you don't think is a number one. Last year we played Arizona in that big game. Even after Michael Gallup blew his knee out,
it was.
You go back and look at the guy who had the most targets.
Wilson.
Boom! There you go, John. Yeah. And then you turn around in the playoff game. Who's the number one target guy again? Said Amari Cooper had a lot. the second guy was Cedric Wilson. So you look in this game, which is in a playoff atmosphere, and they're covering. You're going to draw up a play. You draw up a play at a crucial point, and you don't go to your main guy. You go to your third guy.
We
And it
literally
doesn't make
took
sense to me.
CeeDee Lamb out the game.
And CD was cooking them.
Dude. But the thing about it was they understood CD was cooking them, but in the pecking order of options, it should have been CeeDee Lamb, Tony Pollard, Dalton Schultz, Michael Gallup, Peyton Hendershot, the water boy on the sideline, and then Noah Brown. And even though Noah had a great game,
I don't think we lost the game on that 3rd and 4. I thought that 2nd and 4 play call was jacked up. I don't know if you guys had the opportunity to watch it. Yeah, but the line was blocking the other way. Like the run had no shot at working.
Having the tackle kind of rush to the left, block to the left, and swing over was a little weird. Especially in that weird kind of read option kind of move, it was a little off. So it was definitely
there was no other threat to keep that corner. Like if Tony was on the other side, that's a little different because then Dak has the threat of pulling right there.
Yeah,
we don't even have that. It was almost like Tony should have been on the other side.
Yeah, it was counterintuitive to
somebody
success.
forgot to pull. I don't know, but it was jacked up.
Yeah, and I kind of going back to kind of my big point with this game is that, to be honest, and it's kind of sad, like this team should not have been in overtime. This should have been a done deal. And that's kind of where, going back to my main thing when I said that this defense needed to make a stop. The offense has part of the blame because you went 3 and out so often and so quickly. It allowed Jacksonville time to muster points to take the lead. But when you give up a big play touchdown, then your offense gives them we were on our 8-yard line and we gave them prime field position to score in 4 plays. Then you let them go on an 8-yard drive where you can't fucking tackle. Of course they're going to get back into the game. And then, yes, you took the lead back and you got the fumble. And this is kind of going to the point of Kellen Moore, right? I do not have a problem with trying to win this goddamn game and throwing the ball throwing the ball at all. I don't have a problem. But why are we doing a concept to where we are going for a deep shot when all you need is 10 yards? It's the situational play calling that is continuously hurting this team. Again, I don't have a problem with calculated aggression. The issue is how you're going about that aggression is where I'm going to criticize you. And that's what pisses me off about Kellen is that if you are like on the 3rd and 4, all these guys bunched up in the middle, and you only need 4. Like, what the hell are we doing here, right? And it's those passing concepts that are killing this team. It will kill this team in the postseason if they don't get their act together.
Yes.
I think he tried to make it. I think they tried to make that a short. I think they tried to make it a short pass. I think Noah was his 3rd read. Honestly.
Right.
But why is he running to go? Why
right. Right.
My bad.
No.
It could have been a variety of different routes. Instead of it being a 9 or a deep comeback or whatever have you. Maybe they trusted Noah because he made the same sort of catch in the previous week against Houston. Who knows? But if all they needed was 10 yards, get the ball into someone's hands and tell them to make the yards up after the catch. That's what you need. That's what you need to do.
We don't have any layups. That's the problem.
Stevie Max said in the comments that because Cedric Wilson said he's in Miami and his OC is putting plays in place that he gets to the playmakers. You know, Stevie, you spot on, brother. You spot on with that one.
Yeah.
So you look at what's going on here, and how they struggled somewhat because every week it's been something different.
Yes.
When it was against Indianapolis, I think the offense has come alive to a certain extent, but what I've seen since Minnesota, I haven't seen the same defense that I saw against Minnesota. And what do y'all think the problem is?
Go. Go ahead. You got it.
I believe that all of the linebackers that are not named Micah Parsons are an issue, and we figured out that Leighton Vander Esch is at least slightly more essential to this defense than what we've initially thought, and we have to say I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, Leighton.
Man, okay.
So that is one part, and then here is another thing. We did not, and when I say we, I mean the Cowboys front office. We are fans, so we have to include ourselves in that. We did not value the defensive tackle position until 2 years ago, and we are still in the infancy of drafting and evaluating the position as a front office, scouts, etc. Next year may be the first year that they start.
No, I'm not. No.
Now wait. Let me finish.
No,
they have not properly drafted that position yet, so there is still mid in the interior.
They did. Here's the problem. Okay, they did. They had my man from Arkansas, and he ended up. What ended up happening in the offensive tackle room? Terrence Steele passed on the famous "you can't get cut," huh?
Defensive tackle.
No. I'm telling you what happened in the offensive tackle room. Terrence Steele passed on those vaunted "you can't get cut" pictures, right, to Josh Ball, and so they then in turn fuck my man from Arkansas, who you needed, who you drafted, and now Josh Ball can't get off this goddamn team because it don't make no kind of damn sense for Josh Ball to be on this damn team when I turn around and cut a valuable, big body defensive tackle who I needed, because I could have ran 35 plays with Jonathan Hankins and 25 plays with old boy, and I'd have been better in my middle of my defense. They did draft a guy. They just turned around, and them damn pictures are so bad. They so terrible, they so awful that anybody who has them in their goddamn possession cannot get cut off this team. And I don't know how the hell did Josh Ball still on this team.
Amen.
That don't make no kind of sense, man. That
Also,
was terrible. You turned around. Go ahead.
The guy we kept ain't even on the team no more. Tristan Hill outplayed him. And he's not even here no more. We got him off.
You could
John Ridgeway?
Yeah.
John Ridgeway, there we go.
Yeah, John Ridgeway ain't here no more because Tristan Hill played so great in camp. He had a hell of a camp.
And
he did, but go ahead, Space.
The problem, and this is kind of why I circle back to your front office, because your front office made terrible decisions with IR that could have kept these guys on your roster. On top of that, you kept the wrong guys on your roster, and now you're paying the price for it. I mean, you had Tristan Hill and you had John Ridgeway. Sure, I would still have loved to bring in Hankins, because that's great, but that's killing you now, because now Hankins is out. And now you're kind of basically praying to God that he's ready to go in the postseason. Yeah. And then now, and I said it even during the season, your linebackers are a problem because you don't have, like, Damone Clark being here and healthy has been a godsend because at least you have someone else to go to. But what I need to see, and this is something that's been bugging me, Jabril Cox, is he having a setback? We haven't heard anything. Apparently there is something there, because Barr is not helping you. He is not helping you whatsoever.
Woo, mud boy. Them feet are in mud.
I mean, you see what I'm saying? But here goes back to what I was saying. If you got John Ridgeway, right, the first time you don't have anybody to cover up and keep Leighton Vander Esch clean, he gets hurt. You already had a defensive tackle room that was getting ran on, like the Nile here. So you expected for Bohanna on limited snaps, and for Neville Gallimore as a one technique to stop the run. We had a motto going back a couple weeks ago where you wanted to be able to keep it under 150 in rushing. You turned around this week and gave up 192 yards rushing. You almost gave up 200 damn yards rushing. And so you had, Carlos. Listen, guys like Carlos Watkins is good as Carlos Watkins is good in the 25 snap range. He is right in Jeff the GOAT Heath range.
Here we go.
Jeff Heath
Mhm.
is the GOAT at 25 snaps.
Are we doing this?
Anything over 25 snaps, we're doing this because we set in the table. Anything over 25 snaps, Jeff was a liability, right?
Mhm.
So if you knew you had Hankins, who was older, and you needed him on a lower snap count, why the hell did you turn around and make him go from 35 snaps to 45, 50 snaps, and now he's hurt?
Necessity.
And now you're back to the same spot you was before. But the necessity was you didn't have to get rid of Ridgeway. You could have cut Josh Ball's ass because you sitting for 2 years be absolutely old. I mean, come on, not bad, awful.
You're not wrong. But here's the thing. A lot of teams, not just the Cowboys, like replicating success. The Cowboys' success just so happens to be in the form of Terrence Steele. They finally struck gold. Terrence Steele, matter of fact, they hit diamond. Terrence Steele was a lump of coal, and they finally just squoze him enough to where all of that pressure formed into a diamond. Josh Ball to them was another lump of coal, and they were hoping that he could be a diamond. Go ahead, DMV.
I'll tell you another guy they could have cut, or another two guys that probably should have been cut before Ridgeway. Deshaun Wright and Bossman Fat. They had
that was never going to happen. That was never going to happen.
We thought one of them was gone. Put it that way.
It was never going to happen. Even with the alleged murder, it was never going to happen.
Well, look at us now.
Yeah.
Look at us now, because
we're
trying to replace them with guys that are on practice squad.
I do not know who Bossman Fat is. I do not know who that is.
Kelvin Joseph.
Burnt man toast.
At least he's consistent.
Bossman Fat does not.
At least he's consistent.
Kelvin Joseph, on the other hand, I knew that he would never get cut. They invested too much. They stood behind him in a murder rap. That's how you knew they would never cut him.
Yeah, that.
But
here's my.
They didn't stand behind Deshaun Wright. He was getting his ass toasted.
Facts. Now,
so here's my question. Hey, DMV, let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Two years ago, there was this cornerback we had on this football team getting killed on double moves. Had only played 1 year as a corner. We all thought he was a bust, and he had to go and play, get through it, and get better. Now that dude has got his own island. He's an all-pro. Nobody throws at him. So I understand how 98.665% of Cowboy fans are totally out on Kelvin Joseph. I understand that. My problem is, and I've always said this, that dude got 15 starts in college. With his 15 starts in college, then he came here to the pros, and he's getting his ass baptized by these dudes. He is getting it taken to him left and right every chance they get. So I knew Anthony Brown was replaceable, but I also knew I had to go through the heartache of getting Kelvin to the point that he can do it. He's got all the attributes. I just think you got to go through this part of him getting better, him getting his ass toasted for him to be that guy. Because there was a lot of Cowboy fans who were out on Diggs his rookie year. They were out on him. He got hurt, came back, had those couple. Go ahead.
There was a difference, though. The difference is
give it to me.
Trayvon's confidence never wavered, and he still was making plays even though he was getting beat, and he got better as the year went on. Bossman got worse.
Right.
He had solid snaps last year, and somehow between training, I don't know what. Well, maybe the murder charges what took his confidence, but you can see the difference in a confident corner and a non-confident corner. Do you remember when Terrence Newman got cut? He got cut when he lost his confidence. I'm just going back to like when you don't got confidence as a corner,
right?
You're toast. The same thing happened to Scandrick. When he lost confidence, you toast. I'm just using an old example. But
no, I appreciate it. Yeah.
Kelvin looks like a deer in the headlights at this point. He doesn't look confident in anything he's doing.
Okay. Well, I got you. I understand. Okay. I can dig it. I understand we're totally out. A lot of people out on him. I'm not totally out on him because right now I ain't got nobody else. Yeah, I just ain't got nobody else to come help me. Right now I would love for Anthony Brown to bring his sunny side, his nicely toasted brown tail back and help me out here because nobody's throwing to the opposite side of the field. Nobody's even trying Trey. I mean, Trey is truly on an island by himself because nobody's trying him. And you'd be an extra dumb offensive coordinator to say I'm gonna go challenge him because it's not happening. But Nahshon is who Nahshon is, and you're gonna have to live with both of these young men learning over this next 4, 5 games, 6 games going into the postseason because that's all you got. Yeah, there's nobody else. Unless you're gonna turn around and put Bland outside. And then now you're going to turn around and get him worked by a slot guy. So,
that's kind of
it is what it is.
I probably would go him outside and hope that Mackenzie Alexander can play you some slot because at least Mackenzie Alexander can at least get you some slot blitzes. Because a lot of us are thinking, okay, it's just corner 2. When we lost Jordan Lewis, we lost that ability to blitz off the edge and give a little bit more exotic looks. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking if Mackenzie Alexander is at least 70% of what he was, maybe we can start dialing up some blitzes again because right now we're trying to send 4. We're playing a little bit more vanilla right now than we have been because of our personnel. So I think Bland can handle the outside. We kind of need somebody. We kind of need Alexander to step up and be able to handle that slot, in my opinion.
So John, so what you're saying, the reason why we can't get pressure with 4 and 5 weeks ago, the most dangerous pass rush on the planet has gone to pedestrian is because of the secondary. Is that the reason?
Yes, I'm saying that. I think that Dan is playing a little scared right now. The corners are playing off. They found out Richard Sherman did an interview not too long ago talking about the rules. And your son probably watches tape and you can probably look and say, okay, this is what they do when they line up like this. You know what I'm saying? So this is what they're going to do. These are the areas we got to get to when they do this. Teams look at film. Like Micah think about this. People thought Micah had a bad game. Micah had 1 sack, 1 fumble recovery, and 12 pressures. Yeah. And I was sitting there watching, and I'm like, yo, he's really close. But we can't get Trevor Lawrence off that damn first read. That's really what was happening. Yeah. We can't get him off the first read.
Yeah, and that's what killed the Cowboys in this game because if they were a little bit like on their game, I guarantee you that this comeback doesn't even happen. Like we were that close. Like that's the difference. And that's what scares me moving forward with this team is because again, I've kind of always felt too, because we saw this last year. I felt like Dallas was kind of holding back because they kind of knew. And I think because of this game, and I'm not trying to excuse it. I'm not trying to sit here and make excuses for the team because they shouldn't be doing that because I'm more of you got to go full throttle. But I think what you're going to see in these next 3 games is all Dallas has to do to lock in that 5th spot is win 1 game and New York has to just lose 1 more game and Dallas is slotted into that 5th spot. So for me, you still got something to play for, which I appreciate, but I think this is going to be a huge test because of these receivers that you're going up against. I don't care who the quarterback is. You're going to get tested in these next couple games, and especially because this team's most likely a wild card team. Guess what? You got 2 road games then this year against playoff teams, right? Mm-hmm. One team that can run the ball with Derrick Henry back there, and the other Washington who's playing tough, right? So I think what's key is, and this has kind of been my thought process through these last couple games, I need Kelvin to get right, which I'm not totally – I mean, I'm getting pissed with him. But, I kind of also have to understand that he didn't get a whole lot of snaps in this type of realm before. Same with Nashawn. So I'm like, dude, you only got a handful of games to get your shit together before we go on this tournament run. Then yeah,
Gotcha.
and
I'll give you that. I'll give you that.
And look, you know what? When you get to the tournament, I don't care how your regular season went. Like I mean, we're playing with house money because we kind of thought the season was over, but I want to see this team go all out. If we see the same cowardice in the postseason, I'm going to be very, very upset with what's going on. That's kind of where I'm looking at this going forward.
So one thing that you did say, Space, is that you believe in going full throttle all the way out. I agree, but then I also see the wisdom in holding your cards a little bit, because we did see partway through the season, people figured out Micah a little bit. It started in that Philly game.
That's not what I said was that I'm more of the mindset I say go all out in the postseason. I'm okay with that. I didn't say like do it, you know what I mean? Like I still think you should play Philly hard, but I think once you know your playoff seeding is stuck, you can dial it back, because no matter what you do, if you win, lose, or draw, it's not going to matter. So I'm more of the mindset of get that seed locked up, then you can just coast and then go all out. That's what I'm kind of in the mindset of.
Okay.
I agree.
Gotcha. Now, one thing,
wait a minute. Coast how?
Coast
Explain coasting for me.
as in work some things, and you're trying to figure out you're trying to figure out what's going to work for you. You get what I'm saying? So we might be rotating guys in that corner to see which ones work.
Okay.
I agree.
I got you.
I definitely agree.
So it's not coasting; it's trying to figure out the right formula in this next.
That's what I mean. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, what rotation of guys work?
Yeah.
Give a couple of these corners a few more live game reps, etc. I definitely agree. Of course, there was a lot of Kelvin Joseph talk.
I get it.
I am of the opinion that Kelvin's last chance on this team at the moment may be at safety, because nickel corner may not be his bag. I think that, of course, next season that's Jordan Lewis's spot. Deron Bland, once Jordan is healthy, that's going to be his spot. Deron Bland may see some outside work, because Anthony Brown is not long for this team, is not going to be the future of the position. Deron Bland may see outside. Exactly. Deron Bland may see some outside work in the future. Kelvin Joseph's future at this team may be at the safety position if he wants to stay on the team. Of course, we've seen him see some success in special teams, but if he wants to see some defensive snaps, he may have to take the Izzy route, the Izzy Mukwamu route, and try some safety snaps.
I think he's got to be who he is.
And what is that?
He's a corner.
Yeah,
I don't think. He just got to try to get better at his craft.
He's a cornerback.
But what he was in college was the guy who gave Kyle Pitts fits, the guy who gave top flight prospects fits.
He was following them, though. He was traveling for Kentucky, but also keep in mind it was Kentucky, and there were some games where they was getting blown the hell out, so it didn't matter. Didn't have to throw at him. Like everybody talks about that Devontae Smith game. Alabama was running on their ass like crazy. They didn't need to throw at him.
Absolutely, I agree.
But I give him that.
Guys got bills to pay now. Guys got bills to pay now. He's playing against guys who excel at their craft now, who really got things to lose, and we see that for when he gives up what was it, a 52-yard touchdown, and he got beat up on a double move. So he has a few more weeks.
Yeah, Trey used to get beat.
Next year is not
to get beat on that too. Trey used to get ate up on that too.
Yeah, you're right, but he got time to get beat up. He got time on task.
He got time on task to do it. And so what you're seeing him do is have a regression. You have him have a pretty good second year, have a very tumultuous offseason, not staying on task. Now he's a pro. And so now the whole world thinks he sucks. But the guy's got the measurables. He's got the speed. John, and like John said, he's got to just get confident in what he does. And that's all. That's what it takes. That's what he's going to have to get better at. And he's going to do that. But now going into these next 3 games, 4 or 5 games, 6 games, dadgummit, because I'm getting to the NFC Championship, god dang it, this year. Yeah, you're saying we got to coach. We got to figure out if we're going to play this guy so many snaps, this guy so many snaps, and go from there. Pray nobody gets hurt. Pray that Bland stays continue to get better, because he got worked a little bit too in this outside of that interception. He had a tough time in Jacksonville as well, dealing with Christian Kirk, who's a problem. But I think the whole defense, something's got to happen where they got to be able to trust these guys so we can get back to that ferocious pass rush. Because, like we said, the last couple of games we haven't been able to get there with 4, and DQ doesn't like the blitz. But here's my question for you guys. I'm just trying to figure, why the hell can't Cox get on the field? What did he do that he can't get on the goddamn field? Does anybody have any idea why he can't get on the field?
So here's one thing that I noticed while watching film. He thinks. It's not instinctual. So I think that the wheels are kind of turning maybe a tick too slow.
So then what the hell Anthony Barr doing then? Because he thinking and he just entirely too slow.
He still can't do nothing.
He has the benefit of age.
He thinking,
he has the benefit of age.
Down, think about it again.
He can't get there.
He has the benefit of age. Bro Cox, on the other hand,
okay.
It's like, okay, first I do this, then I do this, then I do this. So it doesn't seem it's like it's methodical for him. It's not instinctual. That's just a thought. There's no there's no report or anything behind that. That's just a thought.
Okay.
I can't back that up with any facts or reports.
Yeah, I don't.
But I'm about to tell you, I can back this up. I watched Jacksonville run 3 damn reverses, and every time Anthony Barr was like molasses out there, bro. They were picking on him. Like, they just knew he wasn't gonna get there.
Right. They knew without question. We can run it this way. We know we 10 on 11 because he ain't getting nowhere near there. That's true. Right.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true.
Michael was on our right, and they ran the reverse to the left 3 times. It was the same side. Then they ran the screen that way too. They know 42 is not getting there, bro. They know it.
Not crazy work. Not at all.
Crazy.
Yeah.
One thing that I do want to talk about is have you guys noticed that Kevontae Turpin seems to be getting frustrated on his kick and punt returns?
Yeah. Like John said, it's a confidence thing, but also on top of that, like the fact of the matter is like if one thing happens where it's a bad return or the fumble, he doesn't even do anything. It's just immediately he's like, I'm out. I don't want to do this anymore. Right. Mm-hmm. And that is a problem, because I felt like if you're saying, all right, Kevontae, I got you on a 3-year deal to do this, and we're expecting you to house, which by the way, that's hard to do. I wasn't expecting him to do it a bunch of times this season, which I'm trying to be realistic here. But he has given you good moments, which is fantastic. I can ask, and I think it happened in this game too. But when he has that one moment that just messes him up, he just shuts down for the entire game. And that's something that the coaches John Fossil needs to be like, listen, man, you need to not listen. You got to be up and you got to be doing things because I can't be having you completely shut down.
I also think that he tries a little too hard because he's pushing hard for opportunities on offense that he isn't getting.
That's a possibility.
I have another angle on this, guys, because before our special teams were a lot more fresh. If you look at it now, the guys that have to play corner have to block. The blocking hasn't been there. Yeah, it hasn't been there on special teams. So,
you know
what I'm saying? So
with Goodwin and with Joseph.
Yeah.
So for me, I kind of feel like maybe he should keep the ball in the, like if they kick it in the end zone, just keep it in the end zone. Like just be a little bit smarter about things like that. He has gotten smarter when it comes to fair catching a couple of times. I mean, the Houston game, he should have caught it, but I mean, the blocking is just not there. He's trying to make 5 guys miss. So I mean, that has something to do with it as well. But you know, maybe it's something I'm not seeing. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. I think that you know he hasn't really had like he hasn't had the astronomical success that he had in the preseason, and I think that as the season draws closer to its end, he was hoping for, I guess, an opportunity to make like a household name for himself. He's on the Dallas Cowboys. All of the lights, everything, and he's not a young guy. He's been playing football at least at a professional level for what, 9 years now. So I can at least assume that there would be some level of anxiety there for him.
Right, and I mean he's on a 3-year deal, and I think that as he gets more acclimated to the league, because realistically, you look at where he's come from. I mean, he needs a little. I think he needs a little bit more time to cook in the oven, if that makes any sense. Because
Yeah.
I just think he's too raw right now with what we're asking him to do immediately off the rip, which I'm okay with. Like, listen, you got a specialist, that's cool. But again, I think that that's where your coaching needs to step in and be able to assist them there. And like also with your roster, not being able to do certain things because of those limitations also could be a factor too. So.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. All right, y'all ready for me to make y'all upset?
Go ahead. Listen,
ahead.
we're Cowboys fans. We're We're
We're used to it.
Dak Prescott is no longer above reproach. Previously, all of us, and when I say all of us, I mean content creators. I mean, for the large majority of Cowboys fans, I mean, media pundits, whatever terminology you may use, we could shield Dak from the vultures, from the elements that would seek to do him harm. I am not sure that we could do that blindly anymore. Dak has to be available and open to some level of smoke now. And we have to be okay with that.
I mean, he's been like that since he's been in Dallas. I think if anybody, I'm just saying this for my sake.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Go ahead, I'm not trying. Like, listen, and I'm not trying to cut off your point here, Brandon. But my main thing is that whenever you step on that field, you're open to criticism. I think that that's a fair point, and I understand that not everybody shares that same sentiment as myself. And I think context matters. And of course, I'll let you go finish up your point. But I'm just saying, like, ever since he put on that Cowboys uniform and stepped onto that football field, he's been open to all that criticism.
But I'm with Brandon a little bit, in a way that, like, everything that I liked about him as our quarterback, I think that it was like there were certain qualities that he showed, and he still has that, where it's like he's not Romo. He's starting to become Romo now. And in the sense where it's like, now we're like, when is the pick coming? Because it used to be that Dak was careful with the football. He was a guy I remember got caught in the tweet before he was a pro, talking real bad about Tony turning the ball over. Now he's kind of becoming that. And it's like, why did you become that? Common denominator. They ain't giving you the guys. They ain't helping you. They ain't give you the guys to throw the football to. You got these coaches that you're overcoming that. He has to overcome so much that he has to play perfect. And nobody can play perfect. But at the same time, you're getting the scrutiny because you're on the biggest stage as a Dallas Cowboys quarterback. So I'm not saying that I love Tony Romo, guys. Just by the way, like, I love Tony Romo. But I'm just saying, like, he's kind of morphed into that to where it's like
The
everything
caricature.
that he does, everything that he does is just going to be scrutinized. I remember them saying Tony couldn't play in December. You guys remember that?
Mhm.
Yes.
Yeah, he couldn't win. He didn't win for a long time in December, but go ahead.
Yeah. And so it's like now it's like catastrophic things are happening where it's like a guy will drop the ball and it will end up in their hands for a pick six. If that didn't look like a Tony Romo ending, I don't know what the hell did.
Hey, oh gosh, Dallas versus the Denver Broncos off the back of daggum Jason Witten's heel.
That's exactly what I thought about. The best game I ever seen
Danny
Tony
Trevathan
Romo play.
catching it.
That was the best game I ever seen him play. And he threw that damn pick where Tyron steps on his foot. Nobody cares that Tyron stepped on his damn foot. He threw a pick to the other team.
Yep. Dude,
He's overcoming a lot.
Yeah, I think this is the scary part about it. You know when they do the Spider-Man point, and this is this.
Yeah, and this.
Yeah, and this is it. I'm gonna say this, and y'all gonna catch it. Tony is Dak, and Dak is Tony. At this point of their career, their trajectory is 7-8 years in this system, and one playoff win and a lot of heartbreaking losses. And I'm telling you, I despise Tony for all the heartbreaking losses. I was at Tony's dome. He got to be better. He got to be this. But you're right, Brandon. He is at the point right now. If he does not get a playoff win here and make a deep run into the playoffs, they're the exact same guys. And that's scary. That gets back to one comment.
Yeah. Right, and I've
go ahead,
look. My main thing is I felt that way. Well, again, I can't speak for you guys because it's been a long time ago, right? I felt that way since 2018, really, like because of the fact that of the parallels these two have had. Because think about it, you got a front office that's not giving you any help. You got a coach that you have to overcome. And then when you finally get those weapons and you actually look good, what does your front office do? They pull it underneath your rug and they don't do anything until the bare minimum needs to be met. And so, like, my main thing is that this has been something that's been occurring for years, and now we're having this discussion. It's like this has been a thing. And listen, I don't care at the end of the day if we go win the championship, we go out in the first round or whatever. It doesn't matter to me because, and I'm not trying to say that this is good. I'm not. What I'm saying is it's been a thing. And if you followed the team, you would know it's been a thing, right?
Yeah.
And that's what scares me is that I do not like going through the exact same thing because all you're gonna do is you're gonna keep going through the same thing. Now he's getting banged up, and you're like, oh, well, shit. If he's out for a season, now at least your coach is good enough to compensate that, like we saw this year and even in 2020. But I'm worried. I'm really worried that the Dallas Cowboys are going to single-handedly ruin another great quarterback in their history because they fail to do the bare minimum. This is why I was big on getting OBJ. This is why I was big on getting some of these other guys and doing some things. I'm not asking for everything. I just need them to do basic things. And then you're going to go into the postseason. I'm going to say this right now. They might win against Tampa Bay, but you're going to get outclassed by some team that actually did moves. And you're going to look like a complete fool. And guess what? Next year, we'll see what happens, right? I think the one thing Dak has going for him, right, is he has the only thing that Dak has going for him, and I'll give him this. He has a coach that is better than what Jason Garrett was. I can say that.
And the team drafts much better.
And that too. And the team is drafting a lot better. So that's the book of Dak Prescott is still not fully written. And we will see how this thing ends. But right now, and I agree, and I've said this, he's a Tony Romo, and he's in that Danny White, Tony Romo realm until the playoff success comes in terms of what they've done.
He's not in Danny White's realm. Let's not do that. Danny White went to 4 NFC championships. Danny White, in my book, is the third best Dallas Cowboy quarterback in the history of this franchise. Danny White got him to the precipice. Every time Danny White lost, he lost to the dudes that went and won the Super Bowl. So I'm not even going there. But they are the same. They are one and the same to me in that sense way. Hey, do me a favor. I don't know who did it, but somebody send Nick's the link. He done hit me twice. Let's get my boy in here real quick if we can.
Yeah. It must have been the Romo. It must have been the Romo conversation.
Oh yeah, that's his dude. That's his dude. That's his
But
dude.
look, hey,
And in the mortal words of Nick,
I love Tony
pause.
Romo. I've taken up for Tony Romo so many years because I understood that he would take 3-win rosters and get us to 8 wins. And people thought that we had
Yes,
so
sir.
much talent. He overcame so much.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying with Dak. He's overcoming so much with coaches that just like with Kellen Moore. Like, bro, what can Kellen tell him at this moment? He needs tutelage. Dak has needed that since he got in the league. Like, these guys knew more because they had been there longer. But at this point now, it's like, what are we talking about? You know? Like,
Right.
how can
Right.
Kellen look him in the face and tell him he knows any more about that position than he does?
Now, again, I think the big thing with playoff success is you need more chances in the postseason, right? And like we can't be like, oh, please, can this be the year we finally get to the play? Like, and I think that as we see, if this becomes a norm here in Dallas, let's just say McCarthy stays for a decent longer time, and we are consistently in the postseason. Listen, the nature of the NFL, anything can happen. Right. And I'm not trying to say I'm holding on that hope because I've seen how this league can go. I've seen crazy shit happen where teams have gone on playoff runs that you probably weren't expecting. And I would be shocked if that happens here. But I think that's the thing that we can kind of hope here moving forward is that, okay, you're having a culture where maybe you get to the postseason every year now and you have a chance. And I think that's the problem with Tony is Tony, the good chunk of his career where he was playing his best football, he wasn't in the postseason. Right. And that's what scares me is that I don't want Dak to be on a team that can't even barely make the postseason.
Well, you know what you got to do? You got to get rid of that damn Cowboy way. That Cowboy way being the system we've been in for 20 effing years.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
You got to bring somebody else in that's not that. And Dak needs tutelage from an offensive coordinator that's experienced that can help him grow, or a quarterback coach that can help him grow. Like Kitna did. Kitna took his game up a notch.
Yeah.
He needs
absolutely
to help him. You know what I'm saying?
And
absolutely.
He needs that guy.
What experience can Kellen dial from? And they won't allow Mike McCarthy to fully give the experience to him that like he can, because I truly believe if you just switch and allow him to call the plays, we're looking at a completely different situation. I think McCarthy can get him some layups. I do.
Mm-hmm.
Quick screens or something. Like
here's the thing though. Mike McCarthy and Kellen Moore run two different styles of offense. Kellen Moore runs an Air Coryell based offense, and Mike McCarthy runs a more conservative West Coast based offense. Can you switch to that this late and mid-year?
They were doing it with Cooper Rush. You know what I'm saying? Look at when Cooper Rush was quarterback, and you look at Dak. There was so much more spacing. Hell, even if they had 2-man routes, they had so much more spacing with Cooper Rush than they do with Dak. Now everything just looks like, and he got to throw everything through tight windows.
Yeah, and it's like you literally are taking your quarterback and you're making it harder for him. And I've seen people go, oh, that's no, that's bullshit. You don't do those things and make it harder for your team to win just because you have that talent there. And so I think, listen, I would love for McCarthy to just be like, tell Kellen, listen, I do not give a shit what Jerry says. On this 4-game playoff run, if we go on one, I'm doing whatever the hell I want. I would love for him to go rogue in the postseason. I think, no, it's not going to happen. But like I said, you got 3 weeks to figure this shit out and stay healthy.
Yeah.
You know, because this is why I'm a big believer. Go ahead.
No, go Space. Go on. Talk about it.
I'm a firm believer of the regular season doesn't matter at this point. And you might say, well, you need to be good in the regular season to get to the. I get that, but at the end of the day, you get your spot in the postseason, and then you have to prepare yourself for those teams. And this is the best shot that Dallas has had realistically within a decade. You might be like, oh, well, what about this team? What about that? No, if you look at the landscape of how things are shaping up and things that you might know on the back end of how these teams are looking, this is the best shot Dallas has had. I don't care that they're going to be a wild card team at this point.
Agreed.
This is the best shot they've had. And I'll detail why, and then we'll move forward. You got a Tampa Bay team that doesn't look good. I mean, they just blew a 14-point lead versus Cincinnati. You can beat that team even if you're playing bare minimum football, right? Okay, you got it. Then let's say you go on the road. Okay, you're going to have to go to road to Philadelphia. I'll probably be at that game. I'll see my team play even if they lose, right? But my main thing is guess what? With what I'm hearing, you might have some luck go your way in that game because of health, right? Then you kind of that the gravy's after that point, right? So I think that it depends on what you're looking for. A lot of us are like, we want to get to an NFC championship. Me, I'll go all the way. But if your bare minimum, right, is getting to that championship game, realistically, you have to beat a weakened Tampa Bay team and a most likely a Philadelphia team that, let's just keep it real and knowing what I know, won't be at full strength in that game or be rusty because they're going to start resting starters. They're not going to be there. So for me, this is the best chance you got. And if you can't capitalize on that, I mean, who knows what the future holds, right? So
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Gotcha.
It could be Carolina in that playoff spot if you want me to keep it real. Carolina controls their own destiny.
That'd be hilarious.
Carolina controls their own destiny.
Carolina.
Carolina has already beat Tampa Bay once, and they're one game back.
So Atlanta. Atlanta's one game back too.
Atlanta's gotten beat by Tampa Bay once.
But the other thing too is division record. I think the Falcons now are 1-4 in their division, so it's basically impossible for them to get to the NFC
Unless
South
they win
title.
out and those guys
They lose.
Yeah. So if Carolina ties with Tampa Bay in as far as the same record,
They'll win it.
Yeah. Carolina's in. So Carolina controls their own destiny.
Yeah, well, you could argue Tampa Bay does too, technically, because they still got to play each other. But yeah, you're right, Brandon. They do technically. They actually not even technically. They do control their own destiny.
Yep.
So I would say,
Absolutely.
listen, if Dallas loses that first playoff game, oh my God, Twitter's gonna explode. I'm just gonna, regardless of opponent. I don't care if it's Tom Brady or whoever the hell's playing quarterback in Carolina in that company, right?
Yeah.
Carolina. No, I don't think so. Yeah. I think that really, again. I got to keep it real, and I'm not going to just lie to you guys. I think that this team definitely is overperforming from what I saw. I understand where we're at now, and there's higher expectations, and I'm cool with that, right? But I thought the season was over at week 1, and I'll be honest there.
Oh, yeah.
And so, like, I'm happy with where we're at. I'm happy that we're in the postseason.
I was like, Brick, yeah.
But, like, now it's a different animal.
I was right brick on my brick. Yeah, I was
right
brick on my brick.
So
I was looking.
Okay, so I might have a right. You know what I mean. So I mean, I might have a different opinion than others. I'm more of like, oh, I'm happy to be here, but like, this is an opportunity where you got to take advantage. And who knows, like with Dallas being in the position they're in, guess what? We all know the story. Dallas, when they have the huge letdown, they win, and then either if they're not favored, they go do some crazy shit. That could happen. I don't know. I mean, football's weird. Football's weird. I mean, we just saw what Cincinnati did last year. I doubt we're. I don't know, guys. I honestly don't know.
It can happen. I mean,
the Rams were playing bad. The Rams were playing bad at this time last year.
Mm-hmm.
They were. They actually were. And I mean, and Stafford led the league in interceptions. So it's and you know, he tried to give it away a couple times last year. You know, he tried to give it away against Tampa. He definitely tried to give it away against the 49ers. Just so happened that dude can't get on the field for the Eagles because they know he can't catch. So as a safety, but dude, that's all I can see, man. I think outside of getting all the smoke, what else you got for us, Brandon?
Don't give me hope. Don't give me hope.
Listen, there's what hope is there to have? If you thought the season was over, then at that point you're just like, okay, hey, everything else I could give a shit less if we lose in the first round, right?
Bro, we got at least a month left. At the very least.
At least.
Hey, that's okay with me, right? I think that any of us and we should be excited at that. Listen, we now have a team in place, which is different from the last administration, where this team could end up turning into a perennial playoff team, which even like at the bare minimum, I'm saying, like, I'm not saying I'm accepting bare minimum shit, but that's a lot better than your bare minimum is 8-8, you know, like that's a lot better.
Make 8. That's right. That's true.
Also you got those defensive playmakers. I mean, we didn't have a Micah Parsons before. And so, I mean, I'm not trying to sell hopium here, but I mean, I have, when you've watched the league for a long time, you can know anything. Like, 10 years ago when the Packers went on that run with McCarthy, I didn't think they were going to do anything, honestly.
They were like us right now, actually. If you think about it, they were banged up.
For those that don't know, they lost 2 overtime games back to back against sub 500 teams. No one talks about that, right? No one talks about the fact that they went on to beat their division rival in the NFC Championship game. But again, football is a weird sport. A lot can happen. It's all about just playing.
She's a strange lady.
Listen, win that first game.
Okay, well,
let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go
ahead, B.
Go ahead.
So Saturday after I'm cutting my brisket up, to get ready to put it on the pit balls, right? And around 5, 6 o'clock when it's in the refrigerator marinating with all those spices on it, what is your expectations for our Dallas Cowboys? What do you think is going to happen Saturday?
I just want to go 1-0.
Come on, John. You just want to go 1-0. That don't sound confident. Give it to me, John. What you think gonna happen, man?
We gonna beat their ass.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about. There we go.
I have the same freaking. Listen, people are not. I'm telling you, dude. Vegas knows something. You're gonna be shocked. I think a lot of people are gonna be shocked, and the excuses are gonna come. Oh, well, so and so wasn't playing. Listen, Dallas is gonna beat them confidently. I think they definitely are. And listen, it's just because this is how Dallas works. It's just I don't understand it. They lose this game, they'll beat the shit out of Philadelphia, and then all of a sudden people are having different thoughts. And guess what? That game is big for many reasons. I don't care how anyone wants to dial it up. You beat a team like Philadelphia. Oh, well, Jalen Hurts isn't playing. That doesn't matter, dude. You get that win and build confidence off of that. That's why that game is important. You win that game and you get ready to go on. Guess what? That's your last home game of the season on Saturday. That is your last home game of the season, unless Philly somehow collapses or something. I don't see that happening. Win out or win this game and get ready because your playoff run starts after Saturday, or actually starts this Saturday. Actually, win this game and get your confidence and go get it.
Well, I thought we would have been in playoff mode going all the way through. I think once we came off the Thanksgiving game and going play Indianapolis and playing the Texans, and especially this week, I thought this was a playoff atmosphere game against a very, very good, competent opponent, especially with an experienced play caller like Peterson. But yeah, you win Saturday, which I believe we will, because that's how they do us. We go win Saturday, and then we get back on the roller coaster, because this is what we are on. We're on the world's greatest roller coaster, being Dallas Cowboy fans. I tell you, that's how we get down. We were at the bottom of the bottom Sunday, but now we're turning back up because we got an opportunity to play a division rival and hoping they collapse down the stretch. But so here's something I want y'all food for thought. If LVE can't go, Jabril Cox plays well with Damone Clark, right? And it's a stinger for 2 weeks, right? Does Jabril Cox stay your starter going forward?
Nah.
Oh, there you go. The Knicks guy. There you go.
There he is.
Smoking on that good stuff.
There he is. There he is.
Pardon my late arrival. In case, for those that don't know, I'm here. Though I'm at my shop. I don't know how to work this shit. Whatever. Y'all can kind of see it a little bit. Man, we've been super busy in here getting it in. So I just wrapped up another customer. But I'm here, Conversation. I'm sorry for the late arrival. Thank y'all.
So, Nix, you just missed the question. Chris asked if you see this game with LVE unable to go potentially with Jabril Cox and Damone Clark potentially playing well, are they your starters for rest of regular season?
It's very interesting because the big conundrum that we've talked about throughout the season, right? If we're being honest, the big conundrum that we talked about throughout the season is why is not Cox playing? What's going on with Jabril Cox? What are we doing? What's happening? So on and so forth. And I know y'all have done the same thing I have. Man, I have beat the drum. I have my back channels. I've talked about it. And for me, the ultimate thing that I heard simply just was he's not ready. He's not on the injury report, but he's not ready. That's what I got. But I do find it funny now, this late in the season. Obviously, times happen. But now, it's Cox season. All right, pause. But so I think a lot of us within the nation and whatnot have been looking for this from him throughout the season to get his opportunity, and things have to happen. No different than before Anthony Brown got hurt and talking about the rights and the Kelvin Josephs of the world about them getting there and getting ready, the opportunity show up. But the opportunities now. We'll see what the Cowboys kind of go out here and do and how they move. But yeah, obviously with 3 games left, you got to empty the clip, for lack of a better term. Man, you have to empty the clip what's on this roster and figure things out. And look, and as I talked about in the post-game space, and Anthony Barr been kind of up and down on, brother, appreciate you, Barr. He's been phenomenal. He's had a phenomenal career. He has. I think it was very easy to see that there's a lot of things lacking with Anthony Barr now, and you kind of understand why he signed so late into the preseason, offseason, whatever you want to term that. And, my tweet during the game, and look, for me, there's pounding the table when it comes to LVE and how important he's been throughout this. I've had some pushback on that. That's fair. I get it. Look at the history of LVE. You found out how important LVE means to this defense at the linebacker core.
Oh, enough.
You just did. And that was the tweet, and we kind of saw that. So, yeah, man, all hands on deck. Man, look, they talk about Luke Gifford.
Oh, no.
Hey, but they talking about it, though. Let's be honest. Shout out to my guy Spoonie. Let's be honest. Let's talk about Luke Gifford about to get some burns. Man, hey, it's ugly at linebacker, man. But, yeah, man, let's hope Jabril Cox is up to the task. The LSU Tiger linebacker core here, maybe with Cox and obviously with Clark. But, it's very simple and something I talked about heavily leading into the regular season. And I always talk about the one and only Micah Parsons. And I said, go dial up the tape on me. I ain't hard to find. Go dial it up. I said before we got to the regular season, I needed Micah Parsons 60-40. I need 60 linebacker, 40 rushing the quarterback. That's what I wanted. That's what I was looking for. And we've seen them not do that. The biggest steps he had at linebacker, go back to the Green Bay game when LV got nicked up a little bit, right? And we saw those things there. They didn't want to play Clark after the previous week with Barr with the injury and how that worked out. But again, you don't have a second level eraser. And we're watching. Look, I get it. Hey, look. Hey, Parsons had a sack. He had a fumble recovery in Jacksonville, but it's not the same. I'm just saying, man. Now's the time over the next 3 weeks to make sure that you go back to the rookie season. He's the pawn right on the chessboard, and you move him around and do those things. That's just where I'm at. On top of, let's see what Jabril Cox can bring to the table to finally get his opportunity.
That's it. That's what's up. Okay.
That's what's
All
up,
right.
man.
Okay.
I agree with you in that this is the time, especially given the fact that we've clinched the playoff berth, to see what you have. To see what you have, to move guys around, try different combinations of guys, without a certain degree of fear. Maybe not this week because, we got a lot of trash that we may want to talk. But yeah, try different combinations of guys to a certain degree and, just see what works. Move your pieces around, your pawns like you described guys as, and, if it works, ride with it. I'm not, once again, not sure what Jabril Cox's issues, if that's the right word that we're going to use, may be. But yeah, man, it does suck, especially with us having, well, me personally having graded him so high as a draft prospect. To see him not turn out to be that guy, because I think that especially as a cover linebacker, he was one of the best. But it just did not pan out. Well, hasn't panned out yet, because I think that as he develops and, gets more time, he got injured last year, of course, unfortunately. He may develop into that guy that can, roam around the middle of the field and cover guys, and what have you. But as it is right now, he just isn't there. Earlier in the show, Knicks, I said that it looks like the wheels are just turning in the middle of the play, and he can't act instinctually. Micah is all instinct, and that's why he's able to perform so well. Jabril Cox is on the total opposite end of the spectrum. He has to think about every move that he does on the field after the ball is snapped, and that's why.
But do we know that? But we don't know that yet.
That's true, and yeah, I do have to preface that by saying there's no actual facts beyond that. That's just what I see.
Last year with it. Last year. I'm 10 toes down on that. Last year, some of that speed made up for it. We just don't know where his mental side is made up from last year to this year and how much he stayed in the book. But I completely agree with that, though. I completely agree with that, bro.
So, yeah, man. Besides that, we have to find the answer because LVE being hurt, it as much as we talk about him and how much he needs vibranium in his neck.
At least it was in the neck. At least it was the shoulder, not the neck. At least
that's true. That's true. as much as we joke about him, we see how important he is to this defense in the middle of it. Anybody else?
I think going.
Sorry. Go ahead, Chris.
Nick.
Sorry.
I think going back to what you were saying, how important it was for LVE. I think in Quinn. One, you've got one linebacker who's in quicksand, and you got another kid that's just getting on the field and not having a whole preseason. I see you the last of DMV. That dude's in quicksand. That dude is like, I want to move. I want a kid. I think if you turn around, Clark getting in the middle of the season in the Chicago game and having Jabril having to the point of having to get healthy and trying to ease him in. LVE was the safest thing there. And I think with having Hankins being able to keep him clean, I think he was able to just do his thing. That guy's got 100 tackles. Now, it might not be a whole bunch of tackles for loss, but he got 100 tackles. I think we're going to find out. And I hope, man, I think if he plays well, I think you might have the ability to get Barr off the field more often, whereas you're switching your four linebackers are Micah, Cox, LVE, and Clark. And I think you can, keep Barr out of shoulder pads or something, man, because I just don't see any upside with him.
Can he still rush the passer?
I don't know if he can do that. I don't know if he can, but I got enough pass rushers.
Barr?
I think we can. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but here's the thing, and here's where you kind of like you fold your hand. If that's what he does best, and when he's on the field, don't know that, then they can dictate, right? No, I think there's things that Barr can do well, right? Look, he can't cover Christian Kirk, which we saw. Like, no, I don't know how that happened. I think ultimately, I'm gonna pan out. I'm gonna pan out here a little bit. And I think what we have to be honest about when we talk about this defense currently is simply losing players at a certain point is okay. Next man up. Let's do that. Let's move forward, But also what you have to do, shout out to Dan Quinn here, as you've lost the amount of people that you've had to key positions, then you got to pivot what you're doing. Like you just have to. You lost two of your top three cornerbacks, right? They're out of here. Okay, your linebacker core isn't what it needs to be. You lost Hankins, which is a great point by Chris. You lost Hankins, and once he's been here before, prior to the Jacksonville game, right? We've done pretty well against the run the past 4 games. So you suffered enough L's, the war of attrition. You're losing defensively, so you have to kind of pivot and do things. And look, I'm not going to sit up here and be a protector of Kelvin Joseph because he needs to walk through the door. But I'm going to say on the first touchdown, if y'all go back and look at the tape, the first touchdown that he gave up, the 59-yarder to Zay Jones, it's not just Kelvin. You know what I don't hear nobody talk about? Where Malik Hooker is. Malik Hooker?
Absolutely.
Who's on the back end?
Voch was turning the manure. Voch was all over it.
Okay, well, cool. I don't look. Shout out to my guy Vosh. I don't look. I'm like right now. I'm at the shop. I'm too busy.
Yeah,
But shout out to Vosh. You know what I'm saying? No disrespect to Vosh or nothing like that. But for me, I'm just not seeing enough in the Twitter sphere. Is all I'm saying. There's not enough talk about Malik Hooker and what he's doing. And on that particular play, I can go to others. I'm just going to go to that one. He bit too. You the safety. You the last out of defense. What are you doing? And there's the other side of things that are happening on the back end of this defense right now. When we talk about Malik Hooker, no disrespect. Look, we know who he is and where he's come from, and he's had moments this year. But yeah, I mean, he's just as at fault. I get it. Kelvin Joseph and everything that he's went through and what we've talked about. And look, even after the game, I said it personally. I went out there on Twitter. I was like, look, the Cowboys, they want to make a statement, whatever the case may be, they should release him. Because the biggest thing throughout his saga in general, I always cheer for the human being. It's bigger than football for me. I always cheer for the human being. And I always cheer for Kelvin Joseph to be a productive human being and make sure that he takes care of his family and does things the right way. The biggest thing right now is football is your number one thing. And between the ears or whatever we want to talk about, I think athletically it's all there, but it's not showing up on the field. And look, even with the particular play with Zay Jones, and Hooker didn't bail him out, but just in general, he got benched. And just where we are. Look, the Cowboys, and the one thing, I don't want to do this, guys. I guess I have to, though. I don't want to do it, but I guess I will. We always talk about how well they draft and what they do, and they draft so well and yada, yada, yada.
That second round.
The second round is a problem for sure. Third round's an issue, too. We won't get there. In general, whenever you don't, literally, you don't have to go win free agency. You have to be viable in free agency.
There we go.
And whenever you're not viable in free agency, your second and third round picks have more pressure on them to be better than other teams.
Great.
And the problem here is
had to be great.
If you miss, if you whiff and you miss, it's a bigger problem. Pause. Knicks, what do you mean? Okay, you drafted the cornerback in the second round a year ago. He just got benched. Pause. We're looking for a third. No disrespect to Noah Brown. Our wide receiver core. We're looking. You took a third round wide receiver. He lined up off sides, and we ain't seen him since. So when you miss in the second and third rounds by how the Cowboys build their team, when you miss on second and third round picks, Nashawn Wright, let's not let him off the hook. He is a third round pick. We'll see what happens with him. But when you miss in the second and third round, ultimately, and you don't really dip your toe in free agency, these are the issues that happen when attrition shows up.
And you don't give those guys the opportunity to grow and develop. You know, one of the things that Foots the King, shout out to him, he always says development does not start once you get here. It really begins. And so these guys need that time to develop. And like you said, it's from Kelvin to Nashawn to Jalen Tolbert, and the majority of Cowboy Nation, they believe they're bust. They're worthless. Get rid of them. No, but you can't, because if you've done that, you got to give them time. And because you don't deal with that third phase of team building, as Space always says, you put entirely too much pressure on people to go ahead and win and do what they need to be able to do. Yo, hey man, Mix, I wish you to go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say, and Mama Wright, who's in my spaces all the time, and we literally had a conversation 3 weeks ago. And I told her that this is before the Anthony Brown injury. And I said, look, the best thing for them is, I said, and this is Nashawn and this is Kelvin. It's all about them the next training camp, not about this year. I'll say they got to go through, do what they need to do, and be ready next training camp to see what happens. That's what we need. Unfortunately, injuries happen. They're here now. And look, to be honest with y'all, hey, look, I got a drop on me. The word is Nashawn Wright will be active this week, but Kelvin Joseph will. So take that for what you want.
Won't. Okay. Well,
Now,
it can only go one of two ways. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Brent.
here's the thing. I can understand it because, just like you said, due to the team not being necessarily active or viable in free agency, a lot of these day two picks don't have the luxury of development. Kelvin, especially due to Anthony Brown's injury, had to be, that guy. He had to be Trayvon Diggs' heir apparent now. And since he's not that, and since he especially got beat by Zay Jones, who, to the public, who is Zay Jones, Mike Jones reference,
Who?
put a
Zay
bad
Jones.
taste in everyone's mouth. That's why he got benched a few plays later. So it is going to be something that he's going to have to get himself out of the doghouse. So while we may see, it's going to be competition, I can understand it being the case.
Yeah, as it should be, and like I said, we got 3 weeks to get it right. We got 3 weeks to get better. We got 3 weeks to go ahead and put some more pieces together to get this thing right. Man, I think that's all I got, man. What you got? What else you got? What else you got, B? Is that it?
I believe so. I went through all of my notes.
Okay.
Here's one thing.
Boom.
Michael Gallup obviously is not himself yet.
Woo.
So with that being the case, and for a while I said that whatever wide receiver help we brought in, and James Washington obviously coming back, and whatever role he has, for a while I said they just had to be better than Noah Brown. I need to amend that statement to they just need to be better than Michael Gallup now. And maybe we just need to kind of give Michael Gallup that time to give his health, or rather get himself back in order, in the postseason / off season and or next season, because he isn't the big 50-50 ball guy that he previously has been.
I'm gonna say I think ultimately we saw Michael Gallup kind of grow and get there, and he's turning the corner, and then the last 2 games nothing. Let me turn it this way. Here's the thing. I know Kellen Moore, Mr. Heckle and Jekyll and Hyde, whatever the hell his damn name is. Dr. Yeah, whatever y'all want to call him. Guess what? I guarantee. Here's my ironclad guarantee. Because the question that I had throughout the Jacksonville game, even before it went left, I was like, damn, Noah Brown's got a lot of fucking targets. Look, even on the goal line, when he threw the touchdown pass, if you go back and look at it, there was easier passes to happen.
Schultz was wide the hell open. I don't know why he didn't hit
right.
Because he would have dropped it.
But they fed it. But they fed it to Noah Brown. I've just been around Cowboys Nation enough to know they was trying to prove a point, and then that shit blew up.
It was petty. We don't need OBJ.
So guess what?
We don't need OBJ.
Yeah. So guess what? This week, no matter who's playing or not, I know there's a lot of different things out there in the atmosphere now. I guarantee Michael Gallup in the first 5 plays is going to get 2-3 targets. It's going to happen. They're like, oh, no, Gallup's here. They're going to do it. I've been here long enough to see it.
They did it in the Giants game. The Giants game, Michael Gallup got a ton of targets in that game. At one point, I'm like, why the hell do we keep throwing the ball to Michael Gallup?
Was it just me? So look, y'all saw the Noah Brown targets? Was it just me? I was like, damn, Noah Brown getting a lot of targets today in Jacksonville. This is crazy.
Yeah, I
game we left.
I was like, bro, I was watching the game. I'm like, they trying to prove a point that they don't need OBJ, and Kellen's being petty. He's definitely a petty OC, bro, but he's not good enough to be that petty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey, you better get me up out of here. Hey, Frank, we told you better get me up out of here. I'll be here all night.
Hey, man.
I saw you back here and you had to go. I was like, I'll be here all night. Yeah, I don't want to hear it. Look, man, I got a lot. I got a whole honey-do list over here with what's going on.
Well, see, unfortunately, you came in an hour. You came in an hour and 20 minutes late. So you didn't catch. You didn't catch. You didn't catch.
We like Michael right now, bro.
Go ahead and give it to him.
We like Michael right now. We on fuel.
Hey, look. To be fair, Chris, I'm gonna throw you into the bus. He's like, I'm gonna send you the link. I was like, cool. I didn't see the link. And then wait, Space sent me something. I was like, oh shit, there's a link.
Right, but no, I walked in the building. I walked in the building and said, yo, send it to Knicks because I'm already here. And Space said, I'm gonna send it.
I said,
I mean, before we got started, I had Space do it. So don't,
Hey, Chris, that's what you told me. You said I'm gonna send you the link. I was like, look, I was like, oh shit, you sent me the link. That's how what Space said.
I'm gonna get. Hey, listen, I'm gonna get.
I didn't know
the link to you.
I went and looked and said, oh shit, Space sent me a link.
I should have said.
That's what's up, man.
But
it's all love.
No doubt. But hey, well, with the petty OC, I think we. With both of them, the petty OC being who he is, and I think the DC trying to play with the cards these guys dealt with us. We was going around the table, and Nick, I don't know if we asked you, but what you think is going to happen Saturday night?
Man, I mean, who's playing quarterback for the Eagles? I mean, low key. I mean, I'm just telling you. I mean, who's playing quarterback? Is it Minshew or is it Hurts? Look. Somebody told me. I don't know if I buy this or not, but I had the inbox said Eagles are trying to hide the fact that it's a collarbone break and not a sprain.
Well,
when it comes to Hurts,
should I?
I don't know. Look, and I've been at work.
Yeah, go and give it to him, Space.
So I haven't had time to delve into that. Space, you got some light for me?
Yeah. So I have a buddy. So through my connections with where I work, because I live near Philadelphia, and the company I work for partners with the Eagles, I know some people. So the original thought was it was a break in the collarbone. And that's why you had some reporters being like, oh, it's a break. It's not that. It's an AC joint injury, and a lot of people are trying to keep it hush-hush. So it's like as severe or generally the same injury as Dax because of how he landed. It's kind of how that same impact happens. So what he's telling me is that they want to play him because they're fearful that he'll be rusty and the injury won't be healed up to a point to where he will be playing effectively. So I was told there's an 80% chance he doesn't play in this game, and if he does, it's Sirianni's call. But they're scared they're going to make it worse. That's what I've been hearing on the inside of Philadelphia.
Okay.
You need time with that AC joint. You need time. That's the only thing that's going to heal it. But hey,
that type of thing will be a disservice to a player. That type of thing will be a huge disservice to a player, because especially a guy that is going to be looking for a payday next year, because this is his third season. He'll be looking for a payday sometime next season.
And pay attention to the Vegas odds. Remember, if he was out for just one game, I guarantee you those odds would not have moved as much as they did. Keep in mind that they moved significantly. And so they're trying to hide it. They definitely are. And Vegas knows that he probably isn't playing in the regular season anymore because Philly most likely is like, hey, listen, we got a good enough team to win one more game and get that number one spot. But my main concern if I'm Philadelphia is, can Jalen Hurts go 5 weeks without playing? Then not only that, get good enough to help us win a playoff game. And because the one thing that would scare them is if they have to throw themselves back into a game. So regardless if it's Dallas or any other team, like if they play San Francisco, right, and San Francisco's up on them and they're playing ball control, like you're kind of like, well, shit, I don't think Jalen can win us this game. And it's not because they don't believe in Jalen, like in terms of the talent level. It's that physically, medically, he won't be ready. Like he will be very rusty in that game. Very rusty.
Especially on the throwing shoulder.
Yeah, it's not like it's the left side or anything there. It's his actual, and it's significant.
Do we know what the grade of the sprain is? Because obviously, sprains have grades, and the sprain is really just a minor tear. Like, what do we know with the? Because here's my thinking: if they thought it was a break, and I told you guys this pre-show, if they thought it was a break, that means he can't move that shit. Now, I had an AC joint sprain before, and it was like a grade 2, and I couldn't lift it past here.
So they're saying he's going to be out for 2 weeks. They're trying to play it off as at worst a grade 2. But
he has to throw. We won't see him the rest of the regular season. We won't see him the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, there was NFL insiders. Now, for me, I don't know what the grade is. A lot of people are suggesting it's a 2. But I'm like, a 2, and you're out for 2 games. That's a lot. Like, that's a lot to try and combat. Because usually if it was a 1, yeah, okay, I get that. But then again, it's not a sprain, like I said. It's definitely not, from what I've been told. It's an AC joint injury, which is a lot worse.
That's a separation.
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
And because I'm telling you, man, like, moral of the story is Philadelphia, like, they have a good enough roster to take care of business, but it's going to be tough, man, to go 3 games without playing and then try to pick up the ball and try to throw it. Like, you might have a situation where, like, how Dak suited up for that game. And sure, he was able to get the ball downfield and stuff like that, but like, it limits what you can do. And that's what Sirianni's worried about. He's worried, if my guy is not playing, he's going to be rusty. But then you have management that's like, dude, I can't risk it.
Rusty, his biggest attribute is running the football. You better worry about him running the football and hurting his shoulder even more.
I don't get it. I don't know what. Yeah, exactly. And that's why they're scared. They're scared that if they are forced to throw to get back into it, because Hurts has been able to deliver the ball well this season with the weapons that have been given. But if he's unable to do that and we have to run the ball more, that's going to limit what Philly can do. And that's why when I went back into my soliloquy and stated that this is the easiest route for Dallas, if they get the draw of getting Philly second round, like, that's that. I don't know, man. I'm telling you,
it favors you.
Any team.
It definitely favors him.
And so I would say, again, I've been told it's an 80% chance he plays, but if he plays, it's not because management wants him to play. It's because Sirianni is worried that he's not going to have a ready-to-go quarterback, even though they got Minshew, so I wouldn't be worried.
If he plays, they're going to pull him. He's not going to finish.
Oh, yeah, he's not playing the full game. He definitely is not.
He's going to get pulled.
Interesting.
Well,
Cowboys
will lose. I don't care. Cowboys lose.
You think so?
Care.
Even with Minshew? Even with Minshew?
I don't even care. I don't even care.
You think they lose even with Minshew?
See,
I just want to get clarity.
Knicks is protecting his heart. But the last time we did this, when we did this in this form the last time, I was running around here with the lone wolf hat.
Yeah.
You was cooked. You was done. We was out of here.
We cooked.
And I had to stand as the lone wolf.
Look. This defense is cooked right now. Look, let's be honest, guys.
Oh, there it is.
Let's be honest.
The words of victory.
Here we go.
Let's be honest.
Here we go.
Last time we won 40-3.
That's true.
Oh,
yes, sir.
Okay, I don't care. We're still cooked. I don't care. I don't care. Great. They showed up pissed off. Look, the entire time they showed up pissed off once. Great. Awesome. I don't care. Bro, honestly.
I need Knicks to make this prediction 6 more times for me.
I'll do it. Look, I'm gonna do it every single way. I told you I'm in the Kobe system. More. I don't care. Bro.
Okay.
Look, it's all good. You know what? And look, I mean, things are happening and yada yada. Hey man, who's our starting linebackers Sunday? Malik Jefferson. We just moved him Sunday back. Is it Malik? Who's your start? Who's your starting corner? Oh, it's not okay. So is Barr and Clark? That's who it is.
No, we don't know yet. It's Tuesday, so we'll find out. But
linebacker will figure it out.
That Anthony Barr is slow as molasses, bro.
I'm just asking questions. Who's your starting outside corner?
I know you are right.
Opposite of Diggs.
Dang it. They're gonna move your nickel corner outside.
Oh, you're gonna take the guy that's playing really well.
Yep.
In the since Jordan Lewis got hurt, played really well in the slot. Never mind, put him outside.
Yep.
Right, well, who's your cool?
Gonna have to.
Slot guy?
Gonna have to.
Who's your slot guy? Who's the slot?
You evaluate that. You move the competition outside and move it inside.
I'm not asking about
the competition that you wanted to have outside.
Who's your guy?
That's gonna be
my guy's Alexander. My guy's
okay.
Alexander.
There we go.
Yeah,
okay, Alexander. All right. Off the streets, Alexander here in week 1800 that we're in. Cool, awesome.
Bro, Kelvin Joseph has been in the streets. He's been in the streets the whole time, and we can't trust him on the outside. We got to trust something.
Gotcha.
Y'all remember, just a few weeks ago, doomsday defense and this defense and what they're doing and what's going on and everything else. Y'all buying that now or not?
Go ahead.
Is it Micah or the team?
Here we go. Tell me.
Against Minshew, Micah will have 2 sacks.
Oh, I mean,
Micah does well against quarterbacks that are not your.
I don't think so. I don't think he's gonna get
not against your hyper mobile.
I mean, Micah had a second of fumble recovery against Jacksonville. How'd that help us?
Now, our biggest thing is our corners are playing 10 yards off because we're not confident.
Right.
And
you're down to your best 3. So Bland, who's been pretty damn good, and you want to move him outside, we don't know what that's going to look like. And then we're going to hope this other guy shows up. Bro, it's bad right now.
Are you terrified of Quez Watkins? Like,
Are you not?
No.
Dog, we got killed by Zay Jones. Of course I'm terrified of Quez Watkins.
I'm like,
Where's Zay Jones?
Oh my God.
Zay Jones.
And look, I think that I'm in the same boat. Listen, you have 3 games to get this shit figured out, and you got to prove it to me that you can figure this thing out, right? Because look, I get it. You're in the postseason. Congratulations. You did the bare minimum that many teams are looking to do. Now you got to see, can you do that run? If you could give me that for 4 games, listen, if you can answer me the question of, do you have a good enough team or good enough defense to get you through 4 games? Sure, I'm cool. But I think what worries me is the problems have been consistent. And I think that's that last question. I'm still waiting for them to answer that. And they haven't. And I think that's these cornerback injuries have definitely hurt them. Outside of Micah, outside of Micah, who else have you had in these past couple games?
Oh, wait.
You haven't had him either.
Hold on.
Even Micah.
We played the Texans. Hold on. We played the Texans. How was the pass rush against the Texans?
Oh, it's terrible.
They got rid of that damn ball so fast.
Pause. It was terrible, right? Now we went to the Jacksonville game. They were down a right tackle. They lost the left tackle, and we still couldn't get home. Let's be honest about where this team is.
I'm glad you mentioned
this pass rush ain't what it's been. It's just not.
I'm glad that you mentioned that.
It's been bad.
Because the back end.
And then you're down.
The back end. It's the back end, bro.
Oh, no. You ain't going to say that. No, not you personally. I'm just saying because we heard, AB so terrible, this and the third. It's about the pass rush. Oh, my God. What are we doing? What's going on?
Not just him. You lost Jordan Lewis, too. You lost both of them.
A
combination
right,
of both.
But the pass rush was still okay with Lewis out. Shots of Bland, though.
But you lost both.
Brown, and this shit went left.
Yeah.
How important is Dorrance Armstrong's health going to be?
Man, I'll be honest with you.
I mean,
I'm about to say I need to see
Go
him
ahead.
on 5-4 because at the end of the day,
yeah,
like,
I
don't even know if Dorrance is is he
go
even
ahead.
a backup at this point?
No. Well, I mean, he's playing backup snap percentages. He's still a rotational piece. He's playing what, anywhere from 45 to 60% of snaps.
Look,
I need to see more 5-4.
Be clear.
Yeah, I need more 5-4.
Look. Doris matters. Like, I'm not going to go that far.
Yeah.
However, it's just so we just going to ignore the Micah spot. Is that what we're going to do?
No.
Spot?
Micah is the blood of this defense. That is
right.
That goes without saying.
And right, okay, and he is. Look, I don't know if y'all look at it or not, like I am. Micah's wore the fuck down. It's not the same.
He's hobbled. He's hobbled.
Hey, look,
he's hobbled.
Yeah.
The other side of that, and look, for those that follow me, I'm a huge D-Law guy. D-Law was ass.
Yep.
He was just ass last week.
And
he was right.
When you're right, you're right.
I mean, against the Texans, for the most part, he was ass that game too. Besides possession,
that's fair. So it seems to me, and here's my whole entire point of this team up front has gotten tired, pass rush wise, wasted, beat up, whatever you want to do. So if the pass rush ain't the same, there's a problem. And that's where we find ourselves currently. Therein lies the entirety of everything. Because if we pivot back to the first 9 games of the year, elite pass rush. Elite. It's not elite anymore, y'all. It's not. Look at the Texans and Jacksonville. It's not elite. It's not. And those are issues. Forget the cornerbacks or whatever the case is going on. It's not. Look, and if you're in your heart of hearts, if you're talking about Micah Parsons, right now over the past, how about this? I'll give y'all 4 games of Micah Parsons. Has it been the same time? Take those 4 games out, right? Because the Cowboys are 10-4, right? So that's 4 games, 10 games. We didn't win all those 10 games, or we didn't win the last 4 games. We've won and lost in between those. You take those 4 games. The first 10 games, a little bit different temperament. Last 4 games, it's not the same. Bro, it's not the same. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm not dissing nobody. I'm just saying in general where this defense is currently, because we were trying to, look, say I'm not trying to name this defense, right? Shout out to my guy Kyle Yeomans and all those. We were doing back and forth on Twitters of, oh, what should we call the defense? They're so elite, and things are happening, and blah, blah, blah. It was 85 Bears, it's 2,000 Ravens. Like, all of these things were being talked about. Yeah, man, the last 3 weeks. No, it's not them. That defense ain't him. So what's the problem? Because remember, everybody in Cowboys Nation, Dan Quinn should be the head coach. And oh my God, that these things are happening. Like, but where we at right now? Nobody wants to talk about that though.
Searching. Soul searching.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you're looking for like an insertion of endurance, though, where's Tack McKinley been? He's been on this team for quite a few weeks, but has he played? Did he have any snaps against Jacksonville?
I'm gonna be honest with y'all, man. I'm not as high on him as everybody else is because he was out there for a reason.
It's not about being high on him. It's where's he been?
That's true. With Dorrance going down, there's snaps available.
Are we? So Ted McClellan. Wait. What y'all tell me right now here at 10-4? We're waiting on Ted McKinley to walk through the door and save us. Oh, no. Jesus Christ!
Not necessarily even waiting for him to save us.
That's how.
Not necessarily waiting for him to save us though. There's snaps available. Sam Williams after the
They won't even play him, bro.
Sam Williams. Who do we play after Green Bay? Was it Minnesota?
Minnesota.
Yeah. After the Minnesota game, Sam Williams kind of fell off a little bit. So there was opportunities for guys. So that opens up opportunities for guys like Takk McKinley to eat up those snaps. So if you say that you want, you want an injection of endurance of skill of, I'm going to use youth, but that may not apply to Takk. I'll insert adjective here. Where is he?
I don't know, man, but I just know we can't keep inserting these damn Atlanta Falcons that ain't do shit when they was fired.
That's true. That's very true.
That's true. That's very true. That's very
true. Right now he's collecting a check. Right now he's collecting a check. Hey, I mean, shit. One of the cornerbacks is one of the Atlanta Falcons. We keep. I mean, damn. I mean, I guess they too old to bring in any of the old Seattle Seahawks.
Shit. Hold on, let me turn on my Wi-Fi. My Wi-Fi's messing up. No.
There we go.
Yeah, you back. You back.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool about Takk McKinley. I mean, I'm getting too far away from my damn Wi-Fi in my shop. But no, look, I mean, Takk McKinley's cool. I mean, look, and we want him to give us something, right? Give us something, but he's not the end all be all.
Of course,
right?
Not.
Because look, what's old boy we got rid of? What's old boy? We signed him a 2-year deal. Played last year. He was all right.
Robert Quinn.
He got hurt.
Robert
Quinn? No. I said last year. No, that's
okay.
Last year, not a couple years ago. Terrell Basham, right?
There we go.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. I mean, he's Basham. 2
That's
years.
Okay. Yep. Hey, that's a great comparison. Great comparison.
I mean, if he gives us something, that's great. But you can't save us. No, I mean, you can't save us. So, this is kind of where I'm at. And look. And I think ultimately, when we talk about this Cowboys defense and what's going on,
we just lost you.
Especially at the cornerback.
There you go.
Especially at cornerback. So, I mean, just here we are. We'll see how they figure it out and do whatever. Linebacker's bad, whatever. Look, I picked this team to be 10-7 preseason. That's where I had them. Last year I had them 11 and 5. I feel like I'm pretty good on that.
Okay. Yeah, they blew my prediction out the water with this loss last weekend, but okay. I'm not mad at them.
I'm not mad at them either.
11-6.
But just,
11 or 12 wins is right where I had them. I'm hoping to hit my mark.
Like the Eagles game, I'm good. Like I don't really care. There's nothing on the board for me, right? But sure, if the Cowboys win out, forget everything else that has to happen. If the Cowboys would win out and the Eagles lost out, sure, the Cowboys will win the division. Cool. Doesn't mean you get a first round bye or whatever the case may be. But I'm not like, okay, cool. I mean, it's fine. And look, you want a campaign to go do that, all that's fine. But I'm just like, I don't care about that space. DMV, Frank, Chris. What I care about is, can the Cowboys find a way to win multiple games in the postseason?
Exactly.
And for me, I think
that's all we care about. That's all.
Right, and ultimately down the timeline here for 3 games. Figure out your linebacker. Figure out who the hell is going to be cornerback 2. Figure out who the hell is going to be cornerback 2, and you move forward from there. I think this is where I'm at. I don't think the Cowboys win this game. I don't care. Minshew can show up. I don't know if the Cowboys have figured anything out enough yet to beat Minshew. Being honest with you. Just being honest with you. And we'll see what happens. But ultimately, I don't care if the Cowboys go. We're in the playoffs. They can go 10-7 now. I don't care. Yeah, it's going to suck to take these L's and do whatever. But if they find out who they are with the replacements, then that's the biggest thing that matters the most.
Exactly. And Right, and I'm really big on. That's why before you joined, Nixon, you know me. I'm real big into why the regular season doesn't matter because it's the little things of figuring out how your team's going to perform the best in the postseason when you're in a tournament where you have to, at this point, win 4 games straight to get that ultimate goal. And I'm okay with realistically, I don't think the Cowboys are going to win the division. I am in firm belief of that. All you have to do is, in my opinion, to get the best, to make sure that you're in the best position to win, is you have to figure out what you're going to do defensively with the cornerback too, the linebackers, and offensively what your game plan is going to be. Because what I think the Cowboys also have to figure out is what the hell are we doing with these targets and stuff like that too. And I don't think they're gonna figure that out because we all know how the culture is and the politics of the Joneses and how they do things. Like we've been seeing, right? Whenever they're questioned on is this guy, they give that guy the ball. So I think where I'm at in my state of mind is, listen, we're in the postseason. I don't care what they do, but I'm looking at it this way: can you win 2 playoff games? The window is open. I would be lying if I said it wasn't, but do I think they will? I can't answer that. I can't. Yes, could they beat the Bucks or Carolina? Yeah, I think they can. But can they go on the road and beat a Philadelphia team? I don't know. Because, again, we don't know what Jalen's going to look like during that game or if he's going to play at all. We don't know. But if that's what I'm looking at, okay, win 2 games. Cool. But if you can't even win that first playoff game, we got some serious... I mean, again, I think the context for how you win or lose matters. Right? If Dallas wins, but they play like complete crap, that's not good. That's not a good sign. But that's where I'm kind of at. You need to show me that first playoff game that you can win something. Not this, oh, hey, we won, 13-4. So you didn't win the division. You got to go on the road. And guess what? This is your last home game of the season. This Saturday. So after Saturday, you're on the road for the rest of the year.
Yeah, playoffs included.
And you've gone 3.
That's it.
Hey, fellas.
Hold on.
I just thought of something funny. Yo, this is a win-win for us the whole time because if we win, we get to gloat in their faces and that whole Cooper Rush thing. It matters now, right? The back and forth. The second part about it is if Gardner Minshew beats us, then Micah was right.
Hey man, I love it.
Last question I want to ask y'all, right? And look, Cowboys 10-4, and we'll get out of here on this. I know y'all got to go. I'm sorry I joined late. I appreciate everybody on the panel to extend the courtesy for me showing up late. Here's my last question for everybody. Are the Cowboys, in y'all's opinion, from last year to this year, in your opinion, moving forward, 3 games left, we know, 3 games left, but into the postseason, have the Cowboys done enough, in your opinion, to make, I don't care about the Super Bowl, it's been my space, you already know, I've never talked about the Super Bowl at all. I'm trying to get to the NFC Championship game. Let's do that. Do you think the Cowboys currently constituted have done enough and can be enough to get you to win 2 games on the road, that's where they're going to be at, and get to a championship game? That's where I'm at with y'all. Just want to see what y'all think. I love the minds that are on the panel. I just love to hear where you're at currently, what you think.
Y'all go first.
Yes, they can do it.
Counterclockwise.
I believe they can do it.
DMV.
Yeah,
Go,
I think so.
yeah, go, JV.
I think they can do it. I think it's going to be because of matchups, not because of how good they are. But I think they'll be better than the teams they play, if that makes sense.
There you go. That's it.
What you got for us?
Give it to his face.
What you think?
Yeah, I mean, I said it earlier in the show, Nix, you weren't here. I kind of look at it this way.
Yeah.
Can you beat Tampa Bay or Carolina, and can you beat Philly? If you answer yes to those questions, you're in the NFC Championship game, and I think you can beat them. As you said, or as they're currently constituted, can they do it? Yeah. Can they? Will they? Fate will decide its course, but yes, I think they can.
Listen, man, we get off the snide. 27 years of not getting to the NFC Championship ends this year. Constituted. They come out, they get healthy. We find a nice level mixture at cornerback, and we figure out this thing in linebacker. I think we go into this stretch run, and Quinn's going to have to, as you say, get into his duffel and make some different things happen. But I think we can do it, constitute where we are right now.
You
That's
gotta
it.
get to
That's
that
all I
5
got.
seed.
It's not about who is the best. It's about who can stay the healthiest down the stretch. And in this particular case, luck has smiled upon us.
Oh,
The team that would have gotten in our way in this particular case has suffered what could potentially be a catastrophic injury. Now,
right.
I do not like injuries to any player, whether it is a team that is a rival or anybody else. Again, my team, whatever. But it is a part of the game, and it benefits us in this particular case.
No doubt.
That kind of is what it is. They played us earlier in the year, and our quarterback was injured. That benefited them. Now, I also think that we can beat Tampa or Carolina, who controls their own destiny. If Carolina wins out, they will make the playoffs. They're in full control of making the playoffs at this point in time. Because they beat Tampa earlier in the year. They beat the brakes off of them too, 21-3.
Right.
So I believe that we can beat both of those teams in their current condition. The road to the NFC Championship game compared to Saturday is much easier today. So yes, due to the current conditions, the way that the road is paved, I believe that we can. Not because of the tires on the car.
just because the way the road is made.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think
That's
for
what's
me,
up.
I just think it's simply it's about Kellen Moore. Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde, who shows up and calls plays and play design. I think that's ultimately the bugaboo for the Cowboys. I also think that over the next 3 weeks, linebacker, quarterback two, you got a cornerback two, you got to figure that out. But I think they will. I do really think they will. And then it goes right back to Kellen Moore. If he shows up and he's in the bag, I think things are fine. But we'll wait and see, man. I appreciate y'all as always. And also acquiescence to give me a little bit of time here. Y'all be safe.
All right.
Yes.
Appreciate you, Knicks, baby. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you, Knicks. Appreciate you.
Hey, man. Merry Christmas to everybody. Home Center delivers everything you need.
Thank you.
No doubt,
Thank you very
man.
much.
Likewise, brother. Likewise.
Chris, well, let me first start by this. Anybody else got anything else?
Yeah, I'm about to say, man, I gotta get up out of here, fellas.
Yeah. So DMV, plug yourself out. Plug yourself, brother.
Yeah, man. Y'all can find me at DMV Fanatic on YouTube and on Twitter, DMV Fanatic 1. Appreciate y'all.
Thank you. Space.
I always say this to everybody that's watching. Make sure you guys do your due diligence, like and subscribe to all these gentlemen here. Go follow them on Twitter and do all that stuff. If you guys want to follow me, Space Cowboy Media on YouTube, Space Cowboy MED on Twitter, and you can find all my stuff at those handles. All right, guys.
Thank you. Next, plug
My
yourself,
guy.
please.
My guy.
Yeah, man. I mean, pretty simple. Your guy Nick underscores pretty much everywhere for the most part. On YouTube, Pick Six Sports for sure. Hold on, let me. I just pulled up. Oh, yeah, you can see me again. That's what the script. Pick Six Sports over there on YouTube. Man, you catch me, Professor O, Spoonie, Mary Ella. We get it in every Wednesday and Friday for sure. I run a shit ton of spaces. Have a good some of that realm, and make sure, not me, but all these guys on the panel, man, hit them and follow them, man. These guys do phenomenal content. I rock with them. We talk a ton on the back channels. They're great people. You're missing out if you love the Cowboys and you don't pay attention to what these guys do. Appreciate y'all.
That's right. That's right.
Mhm.
Chris, go ahead, close us out, brother.
Man, how do we close that? Well, we are who we are, man. We are frankly football, man. You can find me here on Twitter, man. _playmaker88_ That's always been me, but it set it off, Chris. I'm that guy. I am the Robin to my Batman, which is Brandon. We are frankly football. You rocked with us for 2 hours. I've been over here in a fist fight, just trying to hang in with you guys, but I appreciate you. But like I said, man, always we're gonna try to get in and get together and collab about this team that we know, we love, and we like. Thanks to everybody that came and kicked with us on the chat and in the comments, man. We always love Carlos Holloway, Stevie Mack, Frederick Johnson, anybody, man, and GKTV, man. Thanks for coming through and kicking with us, man. Listen, man. We do this because we love the Cowboys. We do this because we love the community. So what I want you to be able to do, since you kicked it with us this long, make sure you hit the like button. It's free currency out here in the algorithm. We're just trying to get a little taste. If you liked it, you did a comment, do that. Free 99. Nick's got me on the free 99, baby. And then we turn around and if you got this, share it with your friends, share it with your people, man, and just get an opportunity to see who we are, man. As always, man, I'm like I said, I am the Robin to my Batman, and we, as always, we are frankly football. And until next time,
Peace.
Let's go.